I love the smell of basil. I really, really do. It is probably one of my most favorite plant smells of all. So hi everybody, Kim here for another episode of Life, the Universe, and Everything, the ongoing series that we have as the celebration of the number 42 goes on. And just in case you're curious, we actually have about 44 episodes on This is a Garden, and as for saying that, this is Kim, this is a garden, and of course I've got the garden in the closet. What I've got today is the opportunity to plant some of this stuff up, and I'm really excited about it. What is going to happen is really exciting for a number of reasons, not the least of which is the fact that I actually get to see these things grow and develop, but for the fact that since they are growing up, it means that I'm that much closer to having wonderful produce coming my way. And for things that deliver produce right away, like sweet Italian basil or Thai basil, oh, I love Thai basil. There's no reason not to be excited about it growing and being able to use it. And I actually can use it. Basil is really, really good fresh. And you know what? Sage is wonderful fresh, just raw. Pick it off. It's in the closet right now because I've got it growing under the light. But just wonderful stuff. I've got chilies. I've got tomatoes. I've got basils and rosemary if I can salvage that, which I think I can. But this episode of This is a Garden, we're going to do a couple of different things and celebrate the number 42 as we do. So don't panic, grab a towel, and I will see you in a couple of minutes. Yes, welcome to the episode where Kim falls all over herself. Hi everybody. Oh goodness, corn. Okay, so what do we have here? I just did an experiment with the basil because I wanted to make sure that you guys got to see what was going on. There are actually 4 basil plants in here. Now, basil, I have grown this strain of Italian basil for 3 years now, and I'm not worried about the fact that it looks kind of leggy and whatnot. It's going to get trimmed back, but the fact that it's got this really rich soil with the fertilizer and with the cocoa coir and the worm castings and the vermiculite for drainage, it's just really, really awesome. And these are going to perk up in no time. They're a little weepy now because of the fact that I had them a little dry and a little away from the light. So I'm not worried that this guy is kind of falling a little bit like that, because they're going to perk up really quick once they get some water and once they get under the big light. So that's the basil. I am really excited about this. I don't know if you can see, my cat is sleeping on, well, he's not sleeping. He likes that keyboard, and I don't know why, but Butter, do you have anything to say? Hey. Well, I guess he wants to be in the video. Sorry, it is noisy and dry in here. It's dry where I'm at because I have a fan blowing on me. So pardon me if my voice goes weird, or if other weird things happen, but it's hot in here, and back in the closet it's nice and humid, but right out here it's kind of dry. So the idea that I can't work without it being a little cool is proven fact. I have to have that fan on, and I am just going to have to live with the sound. I'm sorry guys, but that's the way it's going to have to be. Okay, so the basil is transplanted. Don't worry about the cilantro and the Mexican oregano. We're going to come back for that. I'm going to actually, you know what, I'm not going to put it where it can get pinched. I'm going to put it back over here. Only the meat get pinched. Here, oh goodness corn. Okay, what do we have here? We have 2 things that didn't take. This particular chimayo and this jelly bean. We have Prax cherry tomatoes. I love, you know, these things, they smell wonderful. And we've got Carolina Reaper. Did I do that already? You know what? I do it every single time I talk about this. Carolina Reaper is, for those of you who aren't familiar, look it up. It is insanely spicy chili. It's very flavorful if you can get past the heat. And the way I usually do it is when it comes to the Reapers and the Super Hots, the Ghost and the and the other, really, really hot chilies, what I do, I like to roast them. I like to roast them because it brings out the fruitiness of the chili, and it takes the heat down just a touch so that you can actually have a well-balanced flavor. And I love to make hot sauce out of it. I put it in some of my different types of chili con carne, and it's really wonderful. So Carolina Reaper, you're probably going to stay where you're at. Now, this is not going to be an orthodox method of transplanting for a couple of reasons. Number one, this soil is really, really loose, and it's just going to get everywhere. And it's not going to come out the way that I want it to come out, but you know what? This area is made to be messy. Number two, I have to get the plants out of this in a semi-orthodox way, but it's going to make a mess, and it's not going to look like it's good for the plants. Trust me, I've done this before, and the crookneck squash, which you're going to see in a little bit, went through this type of a process, and it was amazing. So it's doing really well. I'm going to go ahead and transplant the Prax cherry. What I got to do is get this wonderful light fluffy soil that I love. Let's see here. You know what? I'm just going to get some of you. So down here where you can't see, I have that big blue bin full of soil, and I'm just going to dump that in my mixing bowl. Really, this is a mixing bowl. I used to use it for making cakes and pies and other, things that you mix, right? Pies. You mix dough. Yeah, you mix the dough for the crust. Okay, so we've got this light fluffy stuff, and the fluffy stuff is good. However, the soil mixture that I found worked best, and you'll again see it with the crookneck squash and some of the other things that are in the closet, was to take this pre-moistened fluffy soil, add a little more of the composted manure here, which, it just smells like dirt. It's this wonderful stuff. Add a couple of handfuls of this, crunch it all up, and get the clots out, because it's been sitting. I have to dig into it, and I have to get clots like this, which just crumble up like that, taken care of. And fortunately, this particular compost, whatever, this particular stuff is actually, it's been free of debris, things like rocks or other crud that gets in there when it's sitting underneath cows. It's done really, really well. And so it doesn't seem to have, for the weight, it doesn't seem to have a lot of things that make the bag heavier so that they can sell less for more. Now granted, these are only like about, what was it, $2.97 was it? Something like that. It's really, really inexpensive. So I've got some of that, and I'm going to get that second handful as promised. Get in there and mix it up. Now this is one of the fun things about gardening. You get to take dirt and go, yeah! That's the sound of a dying pterodactyl, in case you're curious. Don't ask. Anyway, mixing up soil and getting it all fluffy and in there. Now notice, this is really low in vermiculite, and vermiculite doesn't do things nutrition-wise for your garden, but it really helps with drainage. And because of the way that I'm mixing my soil, and I mix it really rich, and because I'm not using the worm castings yet as a medium that are sifted and made really, really fine, I'm not doing the same with my compost. So what I need to do is I need to put a little vermiculite in here to help with the drainage. You'll see that I did that with the basil. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here with the Prax cherries. Now I'm actually going to put both of the Prax cherries in here. I'm going to add a little bit of vermiculite. I feel like I'm doing a magic trick. Presto changeo. Is that right? Wouldn't it be weird to watch a magician who always says, "Is that right?" after they do a trick? I've seen magicians in different styles and different venues and whatnot, and I have never yet to see one. I have yet to see one that says, "Is that right?" after he says something, or she says something, they say something. They, he, she, we, go, go, gaga, boo, boo. Okay, enough silly. So here's what we got. We have this tall of a plant. However, we want to plant it up to here because we've got these itty-bitty leaves down here that we can take off. And since I learned this from Ray, these tomatoes do really well when you plant deep. So I'm going to plant them up to the first true leaves here. And I'm going to make sure that they have a deep growing environment. So I'm only going to put a little bit of the soil on the bottom as a good base. And then we're going to fill it all around the side, and that will allow the roots to go like that. And it'll also allow them to go like that. So let's put a little bit in the pot here. Now yes, I am doing this in my bedroom, and yes, my floor is getting filthy, but you know what? I'm okay with that. I like the fact that I can have a garden in my bedroom, and I have the wonderful smell of plants all day and all night, and I have the added oxygen that comes from plants. You know, it's really, really wonderful. So I'm really happy about that. So we got to get this out of here. What do? Well, we hold on to the reaper there. I'm going to pinch off a couple of these leaves just so that we can get these as deep as possible. I don't want the leaves to rot under the soil, so there they go. Alright, that looks good. We are going to turn this upside down, let it all come out, push on the bottom. Now this is something I wanted to show you because this is the first plant that has really done this well for me. I don't know if you can see it, but look at that root structure. Ray, you bred a good plant. That root structure is wonderful. We put it down, and look how high I can plant that up. So I'm going to have these trade places because I want to, whoops, I don't want that stuff in there, but that's okay. I want to get this really, really tall in as far as the things go. So I'm going to put them low in the pot. I'm going to start scooping up some soil here, and yes, I'm going to mix the old soil in with the new. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's get that some on this side so you support that side better. Some on this side so you support this side better. And that way I don't have to hold it up, and I can maneuver it around a little bit. And no, I do not mind that I am growing two plants in the same pot. I have watched Ray do this numerous times, and it has worked out well for him, so I'm positive that it's going to work out well for me. Right! Did any of you ever watch Animaniacs? There was an episode, Super Strong Warner Siblings, and every now and then in the episode they would just go, right! Yes, Kim loves her Animaniacs. What can I say? You know, I loved Animaniacs, I loved Freakazoid, I loved, what was the other one? Hysteria. Hysteria was a lot of fun, but it all started with Tiny Toons. I love Tiny Toons. Excuse me. Get all this stuff in here, make a mess on the table. There's a little bit of a mess on the floor, but it's not too bad. Okay, come here, we're gonna soil you up. Okay. Some of you might get that. Some of you are probably going to say, what in the hell is she doing? Oh, I'm sorry, what in the heck is she doing? Sorry, I try to keep this family friendly, and I just completely blew that. But, yeah, we've got Prax cherry tomatoes. You know, they're not packed down or anything like that. The water's going to do that. But take a look. We've got them planted, and you know what? These are going to grow to about this tall before I trim them back. I want to make sure that these have a chance to get really, really happy. So, that's it. Now I'm going to continue with the rest of these plants, and I will be back in a little bit after I've had some water and after I have gotten some more of these plants transplanted. See you in a bit. There's been a lot of accomplishment here. I wanted to show you something. These are the seed cell trays by themselves. They're 6 per. And they are reusable and reusable and reusable until they fall apart. What I've done, though, is I told you I recycle my soil. I took all the gunky soil that was in here. It's not really gunky, it's just dry, and it doesn't have any nutrients or anything like that anymore. So I took all of that, and I dumped it in the mixing bowl. and I am replenishing the soil by adding more compost to it. My cat over there, he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he wants. He's just kind of, he's playing with the keyboard. Isn't that kind of weird? I mean, yeah, he's grooming, but anyway, more on this. This soil, before I put it back in the giant bin down here, I'm actually going to refresh this soil, and you know, I'm adding more compost to it. So I'm going to make a nice, rich and fluffy, moisturized soil. It's going to go back in here in this big old bin that you can't see, but you've seen it before. It's that big blue bin that I've got, and I am going to, you know, just have a good time getting bacteria and other fun stuff in this. If I really wanted to have fun, what I could do... Wow, there's a seed in... Oh, that's a peppercorn. Huh. Alrighty. There's probably a few of those in here. I did plant pepper at one point, but it didn't take, so I'm going to try again later. Yep, there's another one. Sorry, it's still really dry in here. Well, my throat's dry. But the humidity's kicked back up, and that's good. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not hot and sweaty like I was earlier. Been listening to music and working in here and refreshing the soil. So, if I really wanted to, now I have a product over there that I don't let people see, but that I suppose I could add into here if I really wanted to. I'll tell you about that in another show, because I have to talk about it. You know, someone sent it to me. I was thinking about buying it, but I didn't. But someone sent it to me, and it's not bad, but it's not something that I'm going to use regularly. I'm going to use it in emergencies when I really, really need to rescue a plant. And it's good for that. It really, really is good for that, because it did save a couple of plants this last round before I planted this garden, and it's fine. What is it? I'm not going to tell you yet. But look at how much better this is looking. I'm going to continue to add some compost to this. And as I do, whoops, I'm going to spill it everywhere. No. Before I'm going to get it all in here and crush it. You know, I discovered that I just like doing this. I just like digging my hands around in the soil, feeling around, getting to know it, getting to know you, getting to know all about you. No, I don't sing in the King and I have no voice for that. Oh my goodness sakes. But, you know, I get a feel for what the soil really should feel like, and between the refreshed soil, this is a zucchini seed. It never did squat, and yet the crookneck squash went bananas. Well, it's kind of a banana shape. Anyway, I'm going to finish this video off with a little bit of footage in the closet, and that'll be the end of this episode of 42. So the 42 series is going to pick up later on when I turn 42. I turn 41 in 5 days. And no, I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not ashamed of it or anything. I'm proud that I've had 42 years of experience. In life, that is. Not all of it has been the best experience, mind you. But it's been an experience that I've learned from. And as long as you can learn from life, learn from life. You know, it's sometimes it's just awful. Sometimes it's horrible and you don't know what you're going to do. You've lost friends, you've lost family. You are feeling like you're all alone and whatnot. But later on, it's how you get out of that really makes the difference. And I've had to do that a lot of times. I hate to say that I've had to do it a lot of times. You think I'd learn, but you know, I learn one thing at a time, I guess. And when I'm 42, we'll do more episodes of life, the universe, and everything. For now, let's go take a look at the garden, and we'll sign off in there, okay? All right, everyone, as promised, this is the closet, and I've got a couple of things to do in here to get things going the way I want them to. You will see that I've got this OSU blue that is just doing an amazing vining job over here. I've got the San Marzanos here in the middle. I've got another San Marzano that's going way up there, and way back there is the ají amarillo. That's a chili pepper, and I'm really happy to say that I got that. A friend of mine gave that to me. There's a serrano in there, and then there's the sage, and then there's the crookneck squash. Now this is something I really want to show you because I am extremely happy. Can I get you focused on that? Can I make you brighter? Let me see if I can make it brighter. Hang on a second. A little bit brighter. There we go. This is a flower, and I've got a whole cluster of them right there. When I last shot a video in here, the plant was about this tall. Now look at it. It's got all this extra growth going up there. I've still got the serrano back there, don't ask. It's just what it is. But this squash is doing amazing, and it's just kind of blowing my mind, you know? I'm really proud of it. And I don't know what else to say. I'm really happy. Back over here, we have the other things that I'm growing, you already saw, and down under here, well, you can't really see that very well, can you? Let me see if I can adjust that, firstly. We have the area you're used to seeing. Now, I have a tray for carrying, you know, nursery pots, and then I have this 50-cell seed tray. And the light usually goes right here, but I have it out there because I've been filming. This is where I've been putting the little plants on top so that they get really close to the light. The other light that was usually up here is not there because I'm going to be using that for filming as well. But what you're going to see is this whole area change now that we've done all of that extra potting of plants and whatnot. So, thank you all for joining me on this episode of This is a Garden. I will hope to see you in the next episode with a lot more progress to report. For now, this is the end of the 42 series. Thanks for watching. The next 42 series, I don't know when it'll be. It'll probably be on my 42nd birthday. Otherwise, this is the end of that for now. So, until later, this is Kim, this is a garden, and I'm out of here. Bye.